stand. Our inaugural Global Citizen Award recipient, the ultimate global citizen, World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman, Professor Klaus Schwab. The recipient of our 2011 Global Citizen Award, Christine Lagarde, has already been introduced to you. The recipient of the 2013 Global Citizen Award, Her Majesty Queen Rania, who has also been mentioned to you as well, and I think she's backstage at the moment. We are also pleased to welcome the son of the late Shimon Peres, former Prime Minister and President of Israel, recipient of the 2014 Global Citizen Award. Shemi Peres, where are you sitting? Could you please rise? We're also privileged to be joined by several current, former heads of state and government, our honorees, to be sure, the South Korean president and the Canadian prime minister. We also have the former prime minister of Australia, Kevin Rudd, the former president of Costa Rica, Jose Maria Figueras, the former president of Timor-Leste, His Excellency Xanana Gusmao, the Nobel Peace Prize recipient and former president of Timor-Leste, Jose Ramos Horta. All of you who I've mentioned who are in the audience, please stand and let's give you a round of applause. Thank you. Government ministers from around the world, and please stand and please hold your applause until I've mentioned them. Deputy Prime Minister of Korea, Kim Dong-yeon. Minister of State of the UAE, Dr. Sultan Ahmed Al-Jaber. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Korea, Kyung-hwa Kangs. Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism of Korea, Do Jung-won. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada, Chrystia Freeland. A very popular one of the ministers here, and like me, a recovering journalist. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Pavlo Klimkin. Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Georgia, Mikhail Yanalidze. Please, a round of applause for all of these ministers who've joined us tonight. And finally, I would be remiss if I did not salute my very dear friend and our New York board co-chair, Richard Edelman, and his wife, his new wife, Claudia Gonzalez-Romo, who just tied the knot this weekend. Richard, because Claudia told me it is Jewish tradition for wedding celebrations to last a full week, we added this little party of 570 of your closest friends on an aircraft carrier. So please join me in wishing global citizens Richard and Claudia profound happiness ahead. Please stand up, Richard and Claudia. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you for support. Without your engagement and support, we quite literally could not do the crucial work we're doing right now. It just wouldn't be possible. Enjoy your evening. Let's set sail. Oh, and watch the screen for the beginning of our program.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2013 Global Citizen Award recipient, Her Majesty Queen Rania Al Abdullah of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan.
Thank you. We live in an era of shrinking trust in government institutions. But every once in a while, a leader steps up onto the stage and reignites our faith. Justin Trudeau says he entered politics to make change that would better serve Canadians. In fact, his leadership is making change that better serves all of humanity. On the one hand, he has captivated the world with his youthful, modern flair. From taking selfies at the G20 summit and photos with adorable panda twin cubs, to releasing his summer Spotify playlist, to making political statements with his fashionable footwear, what the New York Times calls sock diplomacy. At the same time, and as Canada celebrates its 150th anniversary, Mr. Trudeau has led his country in renewing its deepest values, the openness, generosity, big-heartedness, and broad-mindedness for which Canadians are admired across the globe. He understands those values well. Public service is in his blood as the son of another great Canadian leader, Pierre Trudeau, who taught him the value of perspective. In paying tribute to his late father, he said that he and his brothers knew they were the luckiest kids in the world and that they'd done nothing to actually deserve it. Perhaps that humility explains his response in the face of human suffering. He knows children of war are the unluckiest in the world and that they don't deserve it either. Prime Minister Trudeau has led his nation in transforming compassion into action. Last year, at the UN, he and I co-chaired a panel on the refugee crisis. In his words and his bearing, the world saw moral leadership and moral authority, two values so often lacking in these divisive and polarized times. Even as he described how Canada had taken in nearly 31,000 refugees in less than a year, he declared, "We have a responsibility, as all countries do, to do more to help solve the global refugee and migration crisis." For me, coming from Jordan, it was especially powerful to hear a Western leader speak this way. I recall as well the Prime Minister greeting a plane load of refugee families as they landed in Toronto, helping shy but curious children into warm winter coats, telling them all, "Welcome home." It wasn't just the relief in their parents' faces that made such a deep impression. It was the way the Prime Minister underscored the value of embracing newcomers in need, the value not only for the resettled families, but for all Canadians as well. Because he recognizes that it is the people who are not like us that make us grow. That conviction, to me, symbolizes what global citizenship is all about. Not simply that we look out for one another or that we support each other in times of hardship, but that we value, respect, and celebrate one another as fellow human beings. That is the spirit that shines so very bright in this Northern Star. A father, a feminist, a moral leader, a global citizen. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Thank you, Your Majesty, for your kind words, but mostly thank you for your grace and your strength as you engage in the world, care passionately about your country, but also help shape the values and contributions that we each make every day towards bringing better peace and harmony to the world. Thank you for your leadership, Your Majesty. And while I'm talking about extraordinary women, I have to highlight someone who just arrived and I haven't seen yet, but I'm told she is here. Someone who just came from a speech on women's empowerment and women's issues, which is why she was a little late, but someone who challenges me and inspires me every single day to do better and be better. My wife, Sophie Grégoire. Thank you, Sophie. It is my sincere pleasure to be here with you this evening, and it's a great privilege and honor to receive this award. I am deeply touched by it. When I was a boy, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to meet quite a few world leaders while traveling with my dad. Something that struck me then and still does today is the reassuring humanity of those encounters. However great or powerful a leader may be, they are still just people. And the majority that I have met, I have to say with some gratitude, want to do what is right for their citizens and for the world. If that weren't the case, it would be a far grimmer world than it actually is. The challenge of leadership, indeed the very essence of it, is to fairly balance the competing interests of different groups of people who have at times quite different aims and needs. But sometimes events coalesce. There are times when our principal aims and needs become universal. And I believe we are living in such a time right now. Some might look at this council's half-century-old mission to promote cooperation across the Atlantic as the rarefied concern of elites, or an idealistic throwback to another century. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. We live in a time where global peace and security, free and fair trade, human rights and liberty have never been more intertwined or, in this post-war era, at greater risk and in greater need of our active, focused engagement. Alliances that have underpinned global security and prosperity since 1945 are being put to the test. And the urgency of the challenges we share in common, climate change and drought, income inequality, violent extremism, civil war, and the mass migrations that result, continues to grow. Allow me to repeat that last bit in French for the folks at home. Certains pourraient croire que la mission confiée à ce Conseil il y a un demi-siècle soit celle de promouvoir la coopération des deux côtés de l'Atlantique est élitiste, ou qu'elle rappelle un idéal d'un autre siècle. C'est faux. Nous vivons à une époque où la paix et la sécurité mondiale, les échanges commerciaux libres et équitables, les droits de la personne et la liberté sont plus interconnectés que jamais. Autrement dit, dans cette période d'après-guerre, ils n'ont jamais été autant en danger et n'ont jamais autant eu besoin de notre engagement actif et profond. Les alliances qui favorisent la sécurité et la prospérité dans le monde depuis 1945 sont mises à l'épreuve. Et les défis auxquels nous sommes confrontés, les changements climatiques et les sécheresses, l'inégalité des revenus, l'extrémisme violent, les guerres civiles et les migrations de masse qui en résultent, sont de plus en plus urgents. Worldwide, the long-established international order is being tested. With Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea and encroachment in Ukraine, we have seen the first major territorial seizure in Europe since the Second World War. This is not the time for retrenchment. It is a time for the Atlantic democracies to renew our commitment to universal standards of rights and liberty, enforced through a multilateral, rules-based order that has promoted peace and stability and stood the test of time. We have to work together on this, which means a renewed commitment to long-standing alliances such as NATO and NORAD, bodies such as the United Nations and the WTO. Global security requires the ability to project hard power when it is needed. That is one reason why earlier this year, Canada announced a robust, long-term reinvestment in our military with significantly increased spending for the tools and training our women and men in uniform need to do their jobs. The second major pillar of global peace and security is, of course, free and fair trade. As you know, as you may know, as you hopefully know, Canada is currently engaged with the United States and Mexico in modernizing the North American Free Trade Agreement. We're working hard, and we're looking forward to hosting our partners in Ottawa this weekend for round 3. And as you may have seen in the media, Canada has been very ambitious at these talks, particularly in advancing a progressive trade agenda that puts gender equality, the rights of Indigenous peoples, environmental protection, and labor standards squarely at the heart of the discussion. Now, some appear to have been confused by this. It's as though they expect us to do trade exactly the same way it was done by our parents a quarter century ago. And yet, there is a precedent. CETA, Canada's groundbreaking trade agreement with Europe, goes into provisional application in 2 days. It is the most progressive trade agreement in the world today. We made it that way for a reason. Trade, as it has long been done, though broadly positive for the majority, has not been perfect. If it were, there'd be no political current against globalization. Yet there is such a current, especially in places where traditional manufacturing has been disrupted by automation, mechanization, and offshoring. So we need to do a better job of ensuring the benefits of trade extend to the middle class and those working hard to join the middle class, not just the wealthiest few. We made a deal. We told people that trade and the things that went with it would lift all boats, would benefit everyone. And people have been wondering when that benefit is going to hit the majority. That's what we need to turn around. We need to do more to help the people displaced by economic shifts so that they can get well-paying jobs and provide for their families. A big part of that is upholding labor rights, not just in our own countries, but worldwide. And again, that's an important bit, so I'm going to repeat it for the folks at home. Les échanges commerciaux, tels que nous les connaissons depuis longtemps, bien qu'en majorité positifs, n'ont pas toujours été parfaits. S'ils l'avaient été, il n'existerait pas de courant politique contre la mondialisation. Pourtant, ces courants existent bel et bien, surtout dans les endroits où l'industrie de la fabrication traditionnelle est perturbée par l'automisation, la mécanisation ou la délocalisation. Nous devons donc en faire plus pour nous assurer que les échanges commerciaux profitent à la classe moyenne et à tous ceux qui travaillent fort pour en faire partie, pas seulement aux mieux nantis. Et nous devons en faire plus pour aider ceux qui perdent leurs emplois en raison de fluctuations économiques, pour qu'ils puissent obtenir un emploi bien rémunéré et subvenir aux besoins de leur famille. La solution réside en grande partie dans la défense des droits des travailleurs, non seulement dans notre propre pays, mais partout dans le monde. In short, progressive trade is not a frill. In addition to being the right thing to do, it is a practical necessity, without which popular support for a growth agenda could not be maintained. The third pillar of peace and security is the advancement of human rights, liberty, and tolerance, the very touchstones of our societies. Although even the word tolerance is something that I like to think we can get past. Because use the word tolerance in a sentence. I tolerate that you exist. Doesn't sound very warm. I mean, there's no religion in the world that says tolerate thy neighbor. I mean, there are places in the world where a little tolerance will go a long way. But I think in countries like Canada and the United States and Atlantic democracies, we need to move beyond putting up with each other towards words like friendship, acceptance, and yes, love. This is both morally necessary and practically vital. Respect for others, regardless of what they look like, the language they speak, the God they worship, or the person they love, makes it possible for the human family to get along. And getting along makes it possible for humanity to survive. In the 1980s, when I was a teenager, the fight against the apartheid system in South Africa dominated the global conversation. Canada, through its leadership at the Commonwealth, played an important role in helping coalesce world opinion in opposition to apartheid. Now, we need to be every bit as strong, every bit as vigilant in opposing the scourges of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, ethnic and religious bigotry, neo-fascism, neo-Nazism, and the violent extremism of Daesh that confront us in 2017. We cannot waver. It would be unconscionable to take even one step back in upholding the standards of decency, of the sisterhood and brotherhood of the human family that won the day in the most painful struggles of the last century. Many of you here in this room remember those struggles. We must not relive them. And this brings me back to where I began. The thing we begin to realize when we appreciate that all leaders are human is that nothing is guaranteed. That the global order that our grandparents and parents built isn't cast in stone. It can change for the worse, or, as I prefer to think, for the better. But in order for this to happen, our definition of what constitutes leadership, or who gets to be a leader, needs to broaden. Every person here is a leader. Every citizen, in the choices they make, the things they choose to say or to not say, to do or not do, to teach their kids or not teach, is a leader. It's not just every vote that counts, it's every choice that counts. So I'll leave you with this. Let us be good leaders. Let us be the best leaders we can possibly be. Together, let's roll up our sleeves and let's get on with the tough, entirely achievable, vitally necessary work of leaving this world a better place than we found it. Our children and grandchildren deserve nothing less. Merci beaucoup.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next portion of our program will require simultaneous translation. Please take a moment to locate the headset provided at your seat. For English, turn to channel 1. For Korean, turn to channel 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage 2011 Global Citizen Award recipient and Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Madame Christine Lagarde.
Bonsoir, good evening, 안녕하세요. As an alumni of the program, I have to say that it's a great, great pleasure to come back. And I would like to thank Fred, Adrienne, and the whole team backstage. They do an amazing work. You don't see it, but everything works to perfection. So well done. I would like to congratulate tonight all this year's winners. Of course, my friend Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, who is a tough act to follow, I have to say. Well done. President Moon, whom I will have the pleasure to introduce in a second, and the world-renowned pianist Lang Lang. It is a particular honor for me to introduce President Moon tonight and to present him with the Atlantic Council 2015 Global Citizens Award. And it's particularly timely for me and a great honor that he himself has asked that I present him this award, because we were together last week in Seoul, and I had the great privilege of meeting with him, with members of his team, members of his cabinet as well, to go through the very many challenges that his country is facing. Korea was 50 years ago, right after the independence, the poorest country in the world. 50 years ago. And in a matter of 50 years, it has managed to become the 11th economy of the world. And it is a thriving economy, full of innovators, entrepreneurs, men and women. A bit less women than men, I have to say, but all unbelievably motivated, dedicated, hardworking to the extreme. And at the same time, as we were discussing last week, and as we will all recognize, Korea is a country that is facing massive challenges, demographic challenges. It's a country that is aging, that will be losing 100,000 working force people starting next year. And it's right at the center of probably the most difficult geopolitical challenge of the days. It lives in a fairly difficult neighborhood. and this is very much an understatement. When I visited the demilitarized zone last week, you have that feeling of both proximity, connection, and unbelievable divide. 4 meters large, 248 kilometers long, and people who have not been able to talk, to have a dialogue for many years, and which clearly President Moon is examining with all his wisdom, sagacity, resilience, and courage. And to face such challenges every day over so many years requires enormous, formidable strength. And it also takes a deep reservoir of courage. President Moon, from his early years, has displayed such courage. He has shown this by having the strength and courage to push his country, the country he loves. He was born there, but his parents came from North Korea today. Well, what is known today as North Korea. And he always wanted his country to be a better place. He wanted that often at great personal expense. Before becoming a lawyer, a human rights lawyer, in his student's days, he led the charge for human rights and civil rights. He studied law. He was an activist. He studied law. He was an activist. He passed the bar. He was an activist. He went to jail because he was an activist, and it's when he was in jail that he found out that he had passed the bar. He now dreams of a peaceful reunification. He saw his dream come through at home in South Korea, when in 1987, finally, there were democratic elections. He has now returned to the political stage, center stage. He was in politics before, and he worked very closely with the one who had been his partner in that small human rights law firm, soon to be President Roh, his friend, now passed. And I think it is that friendship with that former partner of his which drove him to want to be center stage in politics in Korea and to have the determination, the resilience, and the courage to go forward, to march ahead. And what is very special about him is that he wants to fight corruption. He says that the job he is in, it's like wearing clothes that do not really fit. Well, I certainly think that those clothes fit him extremely well, and certainly the fight that he takes against corruption in his country fits him beautifully. It is not an easy challenge anywhere in the world to fight corruption. And yet, it is the key to reinforcing the social trust that Alexis de Tocqueville, one of the first Atlanticists, if any, highlighted as so important for democracy to flourish. To lead a great society such as Korea takes, as I said, strength and courage. And perhaps now more than ever, it takes a global citizen that who can demonstrate that the Atlantisme that brings us all together tonight has nothing to do with the ocean that sometimes separates us. It has to do with the ideals that we pursue, the value that we respect, and the principles by which we abide. It is clearly those that inspire President Moon. I now invite President Moon to come to the stage to receive the Atlantic Council's 2017 Global Citizen Award, and I hope your dreams come true, President.
예, 여러분 고맙습니다. 그리고 라가르드 총재님도 정말 고맙습니다. 존경하는 캠프 회장님, 트루도 총리님, 케이타 대통령님, 카보레 대통령님, 라니아 왕비님, 그리고 행사를 준비하느라 애쓰신 애틀랜틱 카운슬 관계자들과 자리를 빛내주고 계신 귀빈 여러분, 반갑습니다. 뜻깊은 상을 수상하며 이 자리에 서게 되어 아주 영광입니다. 트루도 캐나다 총리님과는 지난 G20에서 만나 양국의 협력과 한반도 평화에 대해 이야기를 나누었습니다. 특히 양성평등과 시리아 난민 문제의 앞장선 모습에 감명받았습니다. 세계적인 실력만큼이나 어린이들에 대한 따뜻한 마음을 가진 피아니스트 랑랑의 수상도 축하합니다. 랑랑의 음악은 진정 아름다운 평화의 메시지입니다. 두 분과 함께 이 상을 받게 돼서 더욱 기쁩니다. 내외 귀빈 여러분, 나는 먼저 이 상을 지난 겨울 내내 추운 광장에서 촛불을 들었던 대한민국 국민들께 바치고 싶습니다. 잘 아시다시피 우리 국민들은 지난 겨울 촛불 혁명으로 세계 민주주의 역사에 새로운 희망을 만들었습니다. 가장 평화롭고 아름다운 방법으로 위기에 빠진 민주주의를 구하고 새로운 정부를 출범시켰습니다. 나는 촛불 혁명으로 태어난 대통령입니다. 2차 세계대전 후 많은 신생 국가들처럼 대한민국의 현대사도 시련의 연속이었습니다. 그러나 우리 국민들은 식민지에서 분단과 전쟁, 가난과 독재로 이어지는 고단한 역사를 이겨냈습니다. 마침내 대한민국은 민주주의와 경제 성장에 모두 성공한 나라가 되었습니다. 나는 세계적으로 인정받은 우리 국민들의 성취가 내가 오늘 우리 국민을 대표해 세계 시민상을 받게 된 이유라고 생각합니다. 나는 한국 전쟁이 휴전되던 해에 태어났습니다. 대다수 국민이 절대 빈곤에 시달렸고 민주주의는 영원한 꿈처럼 느껴졌던 시절입니다. 그 시절의 한국에 대해 외국의 어느 칼럼니스트는 한국에서 민주주의가 이루어진다는 것은 쓰레기통에서 장미꽃이 피기를 기다리는 것과 같아 라고 말하기도 했습니다. 그러나 세계가 한국 국민들의 역량을 확인하는 데는 그리 오랜 시간이 걸리지 않았습니다. 1960년 4.19 혁명으로 민주화 운동에 깃발을 올린 한국 국민들은 그 후 장기간 지속된 군사 독재에도 굴복하지 않았습니다. 많은 사람들이 인권과 민주주의를 지키기 위해 자신을 내던졌고 또 수많은 사람들이 한강의 기적으로 불리는 경제 성장에 자신을 헌신했습니다. 그렇게 한국의 국민들은 민주주의와 경제 성장을 온몸으로 감당하며 조금씩 앞으로 나아갔습니다. 1980년 5월 대한민국 남쪽의 도시 광주에서 한국 민주주의 역사에 전환점을 만든 시민항쟁이 일어났습니다. 많은 희생이 있었습니다. 가장 평범한 사람들이 가장 평범한 상식을 지키기 위해 목숨을 걸었습니다. 그것은 인간으로서의 존엄을 지키려는 숭고한 실천이었습니다. 한국 민주주의의 용기와 결단은 목숨이 오고는 상황에서도 절제력을 잃지 않는 성숙함으로 빛났습니다. 시민들은 부상자들의 치료를 위해 줄을 서서 헌혈을 했고 중국밥을 만들어 너나 없이 나누었습니다. 한국의 민주주의에서 이 시민항쟁이 갖는 의미는 각별합니다. 국민들은 희생자를 추모하는 데서 그치지 않았습니다. 은폐된 진실을 밝히고 광주 시민들의 용기와 결단을 민주주의 역사에 확고히 새기기 위해 노력했습니다. 한국의 민주주의는 1987년 6월 항쟁으로 또 한 번 도약했습니다. 국민들 마음속에 뿌리내린 민주주의가 광장을 열었습니다. 그 광장에서 한국 국민들은 시대의 흐름을 독재에서 민주로 바꿔냈습니다. 대통령을 내 손으로 뽑을 권리를 되찾았고 그 힘으로 사회 각 분야에서 민주주의 공간을 확장했습니다. 소수의 저항에서 다수의 참여로 도약한 한국 민주주의는 경제 위기를 극복하는 힘이기도 했습니다. 무너지지 않을 것만 같았던 독재의 벽을 무너뜨린 우리 국민은 경제에서도 기적 같은 힘을 발휘했습니다. 국가 부도 사태까지 갔던 1997년 아시아 외환위기, 세계 경제를 위기에 몰아넣었던 2008년 글로벌 금융위기를 극복한 힘도 바로 그 광장의 국민들에게서 나왔습니다. 내외기분 여러분, 이제 한국의 민주주의는 국민 주권의 완전한 실현을 위해 진전하고 있습니다. 우리 국민은 촛불혁명을 통해 헌법의 절차를 통해 국민의 뜻을 배반한 대통령을 파면했습니다. 가장 평화롭고 아름다운 방법으로 국민의 뜻을 실현한 것입니다. 우리 국민들은 독재 정권이 빼앗았던 대통령을 내 손으로 뽑을 권리도 스스로 힘으로 되찾았고 대통령이 잘못할 때 탄핵할 권리도 스스로의 힘으로 보여주었습니다. 의회와 사법부도 국민의 뜻을 법과 제도로 뒷받침했습니다. 대한민국 국민들은 민주공화국의 모든 권력은 국민으로부터 나온다는 명제를 전 세계 시민들에게 보여주었고 이를 통해 대통령이 된 나에게는 대통령도 국민의 한 사람이다는 사실을 분명하게 말해주었습니다. 나는 이 사실이 말할 수 없이 자랑스럽습니다. 그리고 자부심과 함께 책임감을 느끼고 있습니다. 촛불혁명은 여러 달에 걸쳐 1700만 명이 참여한 대규모의 시민행동이었지만 처음부터 끝까지 단 한 건의 폭력도 단 한 명의 체포자도 발생하지 않은 완벽하고 평화롭고 문화적인 축제 집회로 진행되었습니다. 폭력이 아니라 평화의 힘이 세상을 바꾼다는 것을 보여주었습니다. 나는 이렇게 평화의 힘을 전 세계에 보여주고 세계적인 민주주의의 위기에 희망을 제시한 대한민국의 촛불 시민들이야말로 노벨 평화상을 받아도 될 충분한 자격을 갖고 있다고 생각합니다. 내외 기빈 여러분, 민주화 운동을 했던 학생이었고 노동인권 변호사였으며 촛불 혁명에 함께했던 나는 촛불 정신을 계승하라는 국민의 열망을 담고 대통령이 되었습니다. 나는 대통령으로서 수많은 국민들과 악수를 나눕니다. 국민들이 먼저 손을 내밀고 반가워할 때 행복합니다. 동시에 마음이 아파오기도 합니다. 국민들이 제 손을 꼭 잡아줄 때 전해오는 것은 공정하고 정의로운 나라 그리고 평화로운 한반도를 만들라는 간절함입니다. 오늘 영광스러운 자리에서 나는 다시 다짐합니다. 이제 새로운 대한민국은 경제 민주주의와 평화를 향해 나아갈 것입니다. 나와 우리 국민은 사람 중심 경제라는 새로운 경제 민주주의의 패러다임을 만들어가고 있습니다. 나는 세계가 고민하는 저성장 양극화 문제에 대해서도 세계 민주주의의 역사를 새롭게 쓴 대한민국이 해법을 제시할 수 있다고 자신합니다. 오늘 내가 받는 상에는 세계 평화를 위해 한반도의 평화를 만들어내라는 세계인들의 격려와 응원도 담겨 있을 것입니다. 오늘 대한민국의 민주주의와 경제 성장의 역사를 말씀드렸듯이 한반도 평화를 이루고 나서 대한민국이 이룩한 평화의 역사를 말씀드릴 시간이 반드시 올 것이라고 약속드립니다. 오늘 이 자리에 계신 여러분께서도 대한민국이 걸어갈 경제 민주주의와 평화의 길에 아낌없는 성원을 보내주십시오. 또 함께 해주십시오. 오늘 여러분이 보내주신 환대와 우위에 다시 한번 감사드립니다. 애틀랜틱 카운슬 재단의 발전과 오늘 참석하신 모든 분들의 건강과 행복을 기원합니다. 감사합니다.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short break for dinner. Please enjoy your meal. The program will resume shortly.
so that the lucky winners can thrive to be an even better global citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Global Citizen Award was conceived by Fred and myself about 10 years ago at Davos. We were inspired by Professor Klaus Schwab's philosophy of multi-stakeholders concept and the concept of global citizenship. So I'd like to thank and acknowledge Klaus and Hilde coming here again. Klaus being with us every year. Thank you, Klaus, for your inspiration and support. I would also like to thank many leaders amongst you who are from international organizations, such as my friend Peter Moore from the International Committee of the Red Cross. You're doing a wonderful job for the world community. Keep up with the good work. Ladies and gentlemen, global citizenship means that you reach out from the comfort zone of your immediate responsibility to help global common good. Sitting in New York and having a luxury dinner like tonight, we must not forget that there are many people in all corners of the world who are less fortunate than we are. So I would like to urge every single one of us that we also engage in global citizenship so that people around the world can live in peace, harmony, and share wealth and equality. These are the values that we need to strive. And tonight's award is trying to celebrate and incentivize leaders to do just that. It remains for me to thank all of you, particularly our co-chairs. There are 24 co-chairs this evening. I won't name them one by one because they've been clearly shown on the screen as well as in our program. But I'd like to ask you to be upstanding so that we can give you a collective appreciation. Would the co-chairs please be upstanding? Thank you very much. As it is our tradition now, when you leave, there will be a bag of goodies to be presented to you. And these are goodies to promote our intellectual stimulation. Again, this year, with the generous support of Random House, we will be presenting you with two excellent books. One is a book containing the finest speeches of Supreme Court Justice Scalia, which is a great read. The other book is called The Fix. I think it's from a wonderful journalist from Foreign Affairs who lists out 10 of the most important global challenges that we have, and he can find solutions to each one of them. So, it should be very compelling reading. So please don't forget your books on the way out. And finally, I'd like to call on my good friend, Professor Klaus Schwab, to come and introduce our third awardee this evening, Lang Lang, who is a wonderful, wonderful musician, philanthropist, who has done so much to promote harmony around the world. Professor Klaus Schwab.
Good evening. It's such a great pleasure and honor for me to introduce my friend Lang Lang. But before doing so, as the first honoree 7 years ago, of course, I watched very well the development of the Atlantic Council. And also as an observer and maybe actor in international affairs, I have to say it's so remarkable how the organization, under the leadership of Fred Kemp, has developed in the meantime. Lang Lang, you're only 35 years old. I have a little bit more than WH. But unbelievable what you have achieved. When you were 1 year old, actually, your parents bought already a piano for you. What foresight. And I have to say, you are here accompanied by your mother. Please, let's give a special applause to her. For having recognized this great talent. 5 years old, you played already in public concerts. At the age of 15, you were already a star on the international scene. And at the age of 25, you wrote already your own autobiography. And today, who doesn't know Lang Lang not only in the music world, but in the general population? Lang Lang, you are not only known very well, you have brought back the love for music to thousands, millions of people. You are also very true, very authentic in your personality, dedication, philanthropy. You are an ambassador for peace, and I could go on and on. So let me just say one word. Why your presence here and receiving a prize here, together with such two outstanding politicians, is so important. We are, in some way, at I would call it a new area. We are in a new area, the fourth industrial revolution. And many people say the next decades will be determined by a war between robots and humans. We can win this war only if we are reminded constantly what makes us really human. Culture is not just something for entertainment. Culture is the expression of our humanity. And here, Lang Lang, you are for me not only a pioneer, a younger mentor, if I may say so. You are the person who encapsulates the basic values which we need in order to fight the battle against the robotization and to remain humankind. You have those values which are needed for peace, for future human prosperity. And I just want to enumerate 3 values which you are so much a symbol for. And I want to give those 3 values all those here in the hall on your way. It's the beginning of really exercising global leadership. First, respect human dignity and diversity. Second, serve the community more than yourself. And number three, be a trustee as you do through your educational philanthropic work. Be a trustee for the next generation. So let's embrace those values. But now, Lang Lang, please join me so you can accept this award for global leadership of the Atlantic Council, this award 2017.
Thank you, Mr. Schwab, for this amazing introduction. And I still remember I played for you 7 years ago, also at this amazing award in a different location. I'm very deeply humbled and honored to receive this Global Citizen Award. And I'm also honored to be presented this award by you, Mr. Schwab. It means a lot. I do wish to congratulate you on the tremendous work done by the World Economic Forum under your leadership to address the various economic challenges of the 21st century. It's actually a great place to perform. Actually, I played for in Davos, and it was a very nice place. Very good ski place, yeah. Yeah. I'm most grateful to the Atlantic Council for honoring me together with such a distinguished recipients of the award this evening, like Prime Minister Trudeau and President Moon. Amazing speeches, was really inspiring. Music is a universal language. It opens doors, it inspires, connects hearts and peoples. Through this unique language, I have had great opportunities and experiences. I was 3 when I first started to play the piano. Over the years, I have had occasion to perform in different parts of the world and have come to realize the power and magic of music. I have been extremely fortunate to have met wonderful people in my life who have directed me and advised me on how to give back to society the same opportunities that I had. In 2008, I established the Lang Lang International Music Foundation. Through this foundation, we're nurturing the potential of future generations by providing opportunities to fulfill their dreams and aspirations. I have also been honored a few years ago by being appointed as Messenger of Peace of the United Nations. I know now it's a UN week. Yeah. In a world with numerous conflicts and natural disasters, I am heartened to know that through music, I can bring some relief and joy to the affected people and make a difference in their lives. And lastly, I want to thank to my mother here, Shulan. Yeah. And of course, to my longtime sponsor and dear friends, the HNA Group, for its continued support. Yeah. I mean, you guys really make my life much easier, you know. I'm flying so much more fun in this way. And thanks to Mr. Adam Tan, CEO of HNA Group, for being here tonight. Yeah. And thank you all for your great support in art and music. And now I would like to introducing one of my scholars from my foundation, Amir, to the stage. And we will perform something for you to make this evening very special. I mean, already special.
Thank you so much for all our honorees, Lang Lang. Thank you so much for our co-chairs and all our supporters. The life rafts are being lowered. This is the end of tonight. We'll see you next year. We'll see you during the year. Thanks, and please come back.